Hey everybody, this is Mike Raber here at the Tackle Shack, and this week's Tuesday Top 5 is about my favorite brand of rods, and that is Denali rods. What I wanted to do, just to kind of, for a lot of the local guys who aren't super familiar with it, I wanted to break down my 5 favorite rods from Denali. So I use basically every lineup they have. I have at least one rod in that lineup. Like I've talked about before, the main thing I really like about these Denali rods is that they offer a great quality product at a price that's affordable to the everyday angler, to the weekend warrior. But we'll just get into it. I'm going to break them down. Basically, I'm going to try to go in order. I'm not saying it's exactly perfect, but I'm going to go from 5 down to 1, 1 being my favorite. So let's get right into it. One rod that I am a big fan of because I love throwing an A-rig and I love flipping is the Denali Lithium. It'd be the 905FX, which is basically a 7.6 extra heavy. Has a great taper to it for throwing A-rigs, and also, it doubles for me as a punching rod in the summertime. So I guess that's kind of what I love about it the most, is that it has a lot of versatility. I can do both. I don't need a designated punching rod and a designated A-rig rod. So this one would be number 5, simply because I just don't get to use it as much as a lot of the other ones. But I really love that rod, and it's light for its size. Number 2, or number 4, I guess, would be one that I use all the time. I fish St. Clair a lot. Last year I ran the BFLs. I fish for smallmouth all the time. So this one is the Lithium drop shot rod. Numbers as far as that goes would be 842 DS. So it's a 7-foot medium. It's got a moderate fast tip, got a lot of give. So that's great for light line, which I love to drop shot with like 6-pound test. Again, super light rod, $200, lifetime warranty, really can't beat it. This one gets a lot of work for me, not only as a drop shot rod, but also I'll throw little jerk baits on it in the springtime, and also as an Ed rig. So it can do all 3 of those pretty well. So going down the line, here is one of my personal favorites. So I am a jerkbait nut. Like, I love throwing a jerkbait. If I can catch them throwing a jerkbait, that's what you're going to see me doing, whether it's largemouth, smallmouth, whatever. This rod is the Denali Ac683M. So basically, it's rated as a medium heavy, but I got to be honest with you, like when you check it out, I don't know how well the camera picks it up, it's got a really deep flex to it. And I love it because it keeps that kind of solid feel, so I can really work a jerkbait, like especially when smallmouth fishing, I can really get on a jerkbait, make it do a lot, get a lot of action out of it. But when I do lean into one, it's going to bow right up for me. So this has been a rod, even though it's in the cheaper lineup, so even though it's in that $120 attacks lineup, I am absolutely in love with this rod. I own 3 of them, and so it's basically all jerkbait all the time. I've also thrown some small poppers on it and some small square bills, but gosh, that rod is one I love, and for $120, it can't be beat. Then moving on. So the middle of the road lineup for Denali is the Covert. That's probably the lineup that I use the most. Simply for affordability reasons when I first got started, but now I just really like them, especially at $160. So this is kind of my Swiss Army knife spinning rod. This is a 7'2" medium heavy Covert. It comes in a moderate fast action, so this kills it for me basically on anything with a spinning rod other than a drop shot. It's still, if you were throwing like heavier drop shots, or maybe like fishing heavy current for smallmouth, or if you're fishing for largemouth and using kind of the weedless drop shot, it would work. But basically anything else you can think of with a spinning rod, this will do it. So from Texas rig worms to small jigs to tubes on the Great Lakes, like this one is the one that I can put a 3,000 size reel on and just go to work. Every day I can find a use for this thing. Has a good taper to it, but has a lot of solid backbone. Simply in love with that rod. $160, tough to beat. And here is number 1. This is the rod I own the most of. It's basically the casting version of that last rod that I just showed you, but it is the 7'2" Denali Covert casting rod. So this is just a normal fast action, and I do almost everything with this rod. So I throw a chatterbait a ton on this thing. A lot of people wouldn't think that a medium heavy type of jig-ish rod would be good for a chatterbait, but I love it for those 3/8 ounce and even half-ounce chatterbaits. It's got a good solid deep flex, really gets into the blank well. While it's still light and everything. So what's cool about this is that I skip jigs on this rod. I throw a chatterbait on this rod. I throw a Texas rig worm. Honestly, a spinnerbait, a swim jig. Like, it is extremely versatile. And versatility is awesome. So, I can go from a tournament on Lake St. Clair and be, stroking a half-ounce tube with this rod. and then the next day come home and fish a local derby and catch them skipping docks with a 1/2 ounce jig. So just a phenomenal rod for 160 bucks. I truly think it's like one of the best values on the market, not just in Denali. And again, that's in the Covert lineup. So there are a lot of good options here. You know, here at Tackle Shack, we've got plenty of them. We do have duplicates of a lot of the ones I showed, so there's plenty out there to be bought. You know, phenomenal brand. We're super excited to have them, and they are live on our website. So, and also, we are offering free shipping, even on rods. So you're talking, you know, 20, 25 bucks that we're going to eat for you at the moment. So check them out online. If you're a local guy, stop in, you know, check them out here in the store. If you've got questions, I can handle it. I've been with Denali for a long time. So again, super excited to have these rods in. If you have any questions about the ones I've talked about or any of the others, please let us know, and fish on.